cool. Why we use in the park we just did the safe station? It was sausage in Pakistan. Yeah. We're out. Check 1, 2, 1, 2. Is yours on? Check it. I don't think anybody's on over there. Yeah, you're on. I can hear you. Testing. I don't think anybody's on over there.
I didn't even keep track of this.
There was something, but there was one. There was two. I don't know if it was the mics here or the mics here, but I think you guys were there on one mic.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah,
That was difficult.
That was your mic. That was just mic there.
Did you plug the speaker back in, Brad? Oh, never mind.
You guys can only hear me.
Hang on a second. There you go. Sorry, we were talking and reading.
All good.
Hey, and you're a DJ?
Now you're good.
God, thank you. All right, good evening, everyone. It is February 11th, 2026 at 7:06 p.m. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. You may be seated. Secretary Savage, could you call roll, please?
Commissioner Connolly,
Here.
Commissioner Douglas,
Here.
Commissioner Rye,
Here.
Vice President Steele,
Here.
President Ellis.
Here.
Madam President, you have a quorum.
Thank you. This board did have an executive session prior to the stormwater meeting to discuss potential litigation. Now, we have on item 6 a presentation. Miss, you're okay, but that's fine. Yep. I was going to say we could.
Bill Odoms with the Peyton Walker Foundation.
Gotcha.
Carly could not be here tonight. So just talking, I don't know what she's going to speak about, so I'm just going to go from the cuff. I've been doing this forever. So what we're looking to do with the Dauphin County AED project is put AEDs in what's called a safe station in every park, so an AED is accessible 365 days a year, 24/7. That just requires electric. Unless you step up and spend a fortune, you can get solar panels and not even need electric. But so we just did a installation of a safe station at Salzman Park a couple weeks ago. So if anyone wants to know what it looks like or anything like that, you can go there and you can see it. We just really need the cooperation with finances to be able to do this. And who doesn't want to protect children that are out there playing or the adults that are out there supervising them? And we know that the AED, for every minute that goes by that you're not using that AED, you lose a 10% chance of coming back to life. So that's why we need the AED there. And we don't want locked cabinets. So there's this thing going around right now where people are putting them in locked cabinets. There's one in Coons Park. And the thing with that is, what if you don't have your phone with you to call 911? How are you going to get the code from that 911 operator to open it up? What if you're not that great at English and you're looking at the thing and you're like, oh my gosh, too much precious time goes by. So please, I urge you, do not put locked cabinets out there. Only use the safe stations. They're very bright. The AEDs are on there. They're protected in the coldest, harshest of winters and hottest of summers. So that's my Carly Furlow, best I could do. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And then, Jen, do you need a name or are you good? Okay. Thank you. All right, we are up to item 7, visitors' requests and comments. If you have comments, you can come forward, write your name down and address as well as state it for the public, and then you may begin.
Good evening. Mary Klaus, 447 Pritchard Court in Chambers Hill, and I'm here tonight representing the Chambers Hill Fire Company, where I'm the president and a firefighter and an emergency medical technician. We have a letter to read to you, which you'll each get a copy of in a few minutes, and then I have something else to say. Dear Commissioners, I am giving you this letter in writing, requesting a reply from you in writing to please notify Chambers Hill Fire Company 1, if you are stopping paying fire company insurance, utility, and any other bills as you do for the other fire companies in Swatara Township. 2, what bills, if any, are you stopping paying? And 3, what is the date you plan to stop paying them? On Friday, we were shocked to find out that the township has stopped insuring our firehouse effective January 1st. While Township Fire Chief Michael Wiberson had talked about doing this, we did not receive any written notification about this, if this was going to happen. In November, President Shayla Ellis and I had discussed the importance of written notification on this. I attend the Board of Commissioners meetings. This is not a personnel matter, and it's not a legal matter. So the commissioners would need to publicly discuss this, and the elected commissioners, not the appointed fire chief, would be the ones to make this decision. That has not been done to my knowledge of all the meetings I go to, at least in public. Chambers Hill firefighters do stand by in the firehouse a few hours each week and respond to calls that happen during those times. We also take training. Over the next couple weeks, we're signed up for a bloodborne pathogens class and a hazardous materials operations class. And I have signed up and paid $175 to attend a emergency medical service conference in Somerset, where I can go for 3 days and renew my emergency medical technician certification. We also participate in multiple Swatara Fire Rescue public events. We teach fire prevention classes, we go to the different trunk or treat events, and other public events that we do. Moreover, Chambers Hill Firehouse is a disaster relief site, both for our township and for the American Red Cross. During the recent snowstorm, we were set up to house residents if they lost electricity and needed a place to stay, and thankfully that didn't happen. I look forward to your written reply to this letter by or before February 25th. In addition, some of you, especially some of you new folks, don't really know the fire company very well, and we don't know you very well either. In addition to Chambers Hill Fire Company being a fire company in the township, we are very active as a community support in many ways. As I mentioned, we're the American Red Cross top shelter in the county. We partner with the Chambers Hill United Methodist Church next door for the church that's left the building, which is service projects, and the church trunk or treat. We host an annual tea party for homeless ladies at the Bethesda Mission Women's Shelter each year. Sometimes we do it in our firehouse, and sometimes we do it at the shelter. We partnered with the 40 and 8 in such things as the September 11th memorial procession, and we collected and delivered food and cleaning supplies to hurricane victims and victims of other disasters. Twice a year, we make and deliver Michelle Sunshine bags to the oncology department at Hershey Medical Center. These are bags of special gifts for people that are getting on oncology, and they're named after one of our firefighters who died after dying of cancer for many, many years. We, like the township, sponsor a tattered American flag collection box, and in fact, we had an ice cream party for the Boy Scouts when they put it in. We work with the Red Strikers Bowling Club. It's a club for people with mental disabilities, and we host and help serve food at their annual banquet at our firehouse. We also host the Princess Club, which is not real well known, but it's a club for disadvantaged girls in our firehouse. And ladies do that, and one of our members cooks for them and serves them food. We donate extra food from our fish dinners and our chicken barbecues to the Paxton Street Home, which is in Swatara Township. That's a home for folks with mental disabilities. We have many funeral luncheons in our halls, and often we let them for free. And we also give gift certificates to needy families at Christmas every year. We offer opportunities for people to do community service hours. We're a voting precinct, one of the voting precincts of Swatara Township, And a few years back, we were the number 5 in the state of Pennsylvania out of 9,500 and some precincts to get the award called Keystone of Democracy for being an excellent voting site. And people come not just to vote, but they can sit, eat, and visit, and we try to be a nice, friendly community place. I often tell people, we don't have a town hall in Chambers Hill. We're the town hall, and this is where our residents come, and so we're very welcoming to people. We host the Swatara Township Tax Collector's Office. We host a Girl Scout troop, and more recently, we host a little library. There's a lot to us. We don't put it on Facebook or talk about it all the time, but I just thought some of you new folks should know we're here for the community, and we do a lot of things. And we love Swatara Township, and we're very dedicated to it. Our last couple years have been tough. Our numbers are down, like other volunteer fire companies are. But we do the best we can with what we have. And so therefore, I would ask that please treat us fairly, and please notify us in writing if you're doing anything that affects us, because we need to know. My last thing, just 2 other things to say, is something I've said before. Do you think when we have these meetings, you could turn the podium so we don't have to turn our back on our fellow citizens? We'd have to turn our back on poor Zach, and I'm sorry. But, you know, it seems unpolite to turn our back on our fellow citizens. And lastly, I'll do a commercial. The Chambers Hill Fire Company fish dinner season will start at 4:30 p.m. next Friday, February 20th. And we make homemade food in our kitchen. We get a lot of people. We get 300 to 500 people every week, and we do eat in and take out, and people are welcome to come. We've been shopping and starting our getting ready for it. So we hope to see some of you at the fish dinner. And thank you so much.
Since you're up there then, Mary, too, you might as well talk about the stewed tomatoes.
I am proud to say that I am a maker of stewed tomatoes. Make 200 to 240 pounds every week for the dinners. And I even told our guys in the kitchen, I got a marriage proposal for my stewed tomatoes. One guy came through, he said, "These are so good, would you marry me?" And I said, "No, but I'm glad you like them." So the stewed tomatoes are good. We have 3 cheese, macaroni and cheese. It's very creamy and good. And you know, we have a good meal. So I hope to see some of you there.
Thank you.
Thank you for liking the stewed tomatoes.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
If I can, let's try to do that.
Michael Tucky, 5875 against Lane. Is there any truth to the building insurance up at Chambers Hill Fire Company being discontinued as of January 1st?
I'm not sure, but that's months after we had offered to pay 40% of all the expenses, so. And you were on the board then, so you're making like some motion like you didn't know this.
You have no decency. Yeah, that's true, 100%.
Okay, sure.
I was on that board, yes. I would have never done that to the fire company. What's going to happen, say there's a fire up until they get a chance to get insurance? What would happen? Who's liable?
It was their decision.
No, it's not their decision.
It was.
Well, you said very clearly, the last meeting in December I was at, Chambers Hill Fire Company, all their bills are being paid.
I said that.
It was stated very clearly that all their bills were being paid.
There were some bills coming here. We started the process for them to pay 100%
You have
of their
no
bills,
decency, sir.
and we would
There's
reimburse
nothing.
them. They have not given us bills to reimburse, so you were on the board. You know all this. So
No,
I'm not
I
sure.
don't, because you make stuff up all the time. Majority of what comes out of your mouth, sir, is complete fabrication and lies.
You were also on the board when you took them out of service. So
No.
we've been working with them to put them back in service. So if you
I'm-
want to stand up there, I'm going to have to tell the truth.
I have been
I
telling
wasn't
the
on the
truth.
board, and neither was Commissioner Steele. You took them out of service.
So what's going to happen
the first
if
one.
they have a fire up there at Chambers Hill Fire Company until they're able to get insurance because they weren't notified as of January 1st when you shut them down for
They
the
weren't shut
insurance?
down January 1st. They
The
were
insurance, you
notified.
stopped paying the insurance? Yes or no?
You're making stuff up.
No, I'm not.
I don't know.
Excuse me, Mary, this January 1st, You're saying your insurance for that building has not been paid. So Michael Iverson said it, and you have no idea of what's going on.
We told them to transfer the bills in June, and we would continue to pay the bills that came here. So what you should be doing is saying, thank you for paying an extra 6 months, and can you work with Mary? And we're willing to do that. But you're coming up here making an issue out of something. They had a vote of their members to see whether we would work with them and still use 40% of their building that they identified. And we were going to pay every single bill at 40%. And they voted not to allow that. So that's the end of that.
Yeah.
You've heard it multiple times.
It's not the
You're
end
the
of
one
it.
that makes things up. You exaggerate
I've never made anything
how many
up.
firefighters they had. They struggle to get firefighters, and we work with them. So
You haven't been working with.
sure.
There's just no class at all.
Right.
Your fire chief knew about it, so apparently you didn't know about it, or you didn't know about it.
I didn't know whether they had insurance or not.
No, they've
The
had
bills
insurance
were
for years,
transferred
paid
to
through the
them.
township.
So I'm pretty sure they had 6 months to get the bill in their name.
You didn't say that their insurance was going to be cut off, did you?
No, they told us they were not interested in having us pay. I keep repeating the same thing.
No, not at all. They didn't want to take over their building, I believe is what it was.
No.
I'm
I'm not
positive.
talking. You're just going to say.
You're done
ridiculous
talking, no, but it's true, and that's something you can't handle is the truth.
things. Okay.
Deborah Knowles, 6080 Hacker Drive. Tom, at the last meeting on February 4th, in your commissioner's comments at the end of the meeting, you again publicly falsely accused me of being a liar. You said that I said in my rant, quote, "We told people not to come to the meetings," and that you do not know of any instances in which some of us attendees were told we were not to come to any of the commissioners' meetings. Well, here's another instance of where you lie and try to pass it off as the truth. Please pay attention because there's a big difference between what I said and what you said I said. I did not say you told us not to come. I said to stop challenging us on our attendance or our ability to speak at the podium. I told about the comment you made in January 14th televised and recorded meeting challenging why Matt Tuckey and Christine Zubek would come back when someone else is sitting in their seats. There are ways of getting your point across without starting with that statement, which made some of the attendants feel that you were challenging their attendance. Then I told about how Shane, a couple of years ago, after a commissioners meeting I attended with others in my group, said that he didn't think that anyone who belonged to the Swatara Action Team to fight against the warehouses in Chambers Hill should be allowed to attend the commissioners' meetings, of which you already left the room and were not in the area to hear that conversation. Then I told you about the phone call Shane made on July 4th, 2024 to Deb Harvey at home, telling her that she should not speak at the podium at any more meetings because she spoke at the podium too often and he felt it wasn't productive. You were nowhere near this private call and that Deb told me about and gave me permission to mention. I don't see how you can call me a liar for making these true statements. You think that just because you call me a liar, it will change my reputation on just your say-so. Think again. When I speak the truth that is backed up by a recorded meeting, witnesses in the area of the conversation, and a phone log, I do not have to worry about my reputation being tarnished. But what it does is it now puts the burden of proof on you to prove that what I said was a lie, and I know that you can't do that without lying. I have a very good reputation in the community of someone who is honest, a little outspoken at times, and not afraid to speak when she sees injustices. I can't say the same about your reputation in our community, and I'm not the one who has a political flyer out there that states that I'm known to lie, cheat, or steal. Many people in the community have told me that you are a liar. Some even said a professional liar. We know that anytime someone points out the truth about you in a meeting that you don't like, you try to bully them. You verbally abuse them by publicly calling them a liar or various other names, or say bad things about them. You even had the nerve to call a 93-year-old Bressler resident a liar when she spoke the truth at the podium about several mutual aid fire trucks showing up at a neighbor's fire before our own trucks. Some of your own people who were in attendance at that fire told us afterwards that she was telling the truth. You call people liars who tell the truth, and people that are caught and pointed out to you by our lawyer telling lies in a public meeting, you call good people. I think something is wrong with your judgment. Everything I said last week still stands. It doesn't matter what job we have, groups we belong to, or how often we speak at the podium, we should never be challenged by any public figure, even you, as to why we are attending these meetings. Being our public servants, you should be above reproach. You are elected and paid to do a job for us by representing us, your bosses. So stop challenging us as to our attendance or our ability to speak publicly at these meetings. Stop bullying residents and stop infringing on our God-given civil rights and constitutional rights. Our attendance is none of your business.
Thank you. Do we have any other visitors requesting comments?
Christine Zubak, 6840 Diego Drive. I'm just going to make one quick comment on Chambers Hill. There's ways to do things. You can come up to a reasonable agreement, and you have paid firefighters in the township now. There's no reason you can't put people in that station. There's no reason you can't help them out unless you choose not to. And I know that legally, when you do a contract, you don't have to take control of their station. But that's the problem. This board wants control of everything and everybody, including Facebook, including what you say on Facebook. And you bully people, Tom. You've done it time and time again. You bully people of your own party. They don't even like you. So it's not about party. But I'd also like to, my main concern is the cronyism that's going on in Swatara Township. And I'm going to start with the Planning Commission. You appointed yourself to the Planning Commission. That's fine, whatever, go ahead. But then you appointed a township employee that you just hired to the Planning Commission so you can control the board. And you already had the wife of a township employee on the Planning Commission. So now you have 3 votes. And anytime you say, wave your hand, or Tom Connolly wants to deny a project, or they got an R behind their name, or whatever you want to do, you do it. Because you have 3 votes now. And nobody that has a husband that works for the township, or that works for the township, is going to go against what you say. It's concerning. And then let's talk about the zoning hearing board. Same situation there. Zoning hearing board. That same employee that's on the Planning Commission, you put his wife on the zoning hearing board to fill a vacancy. 0 experience. Look, I get it. You want to put people that you know on boards. Did you have to put the control of the entire township within 3 families? Did you have to do that? No, you didn't have to do that. You could, pick different people. Do an ad out there. Be fair. Let people in our community get involved and volunteer. But you don't want that. You want control because you're a control freak and a bully. And that person on the zoning hearing board has 0 experience when it comes to land use. I would like to see a resume because you removed an attorney with years and years of experience in handling land use decisions and replaced her with someone that has 0 experience. And then you turned to the solicitor and you told the solicitor that you would like to find a way to get the other person removed so you have full control. Is this the way you run a township or a dictatorship? Because it seems to me like you're not a board of commissioners, you're a board of dictators. So I would like you to look at this nepotism policy in our township. It includes staff and family of commissioners not allowed to be in positions, but it doesn't include your appointments to boards and commissions. And I think that you need to expand it to include appointments to boards and commissions so that the boards in our township are protected and things are fair, and that anybody coming before the planning commission has a fair shake. Because you might have a differing opinion, and they don't need to come before you, and in your opinion, biases everyone else on that board. That's not the way you run a township. And I had concerns, you had a former commissioner on this board that was a Republican, arguably, and I respected him, and he sided with you maybe 99% of the time. Former Commissioner Bowder, good person. But, here's the thing. I knew that there was an envelope. You couldn't push too far because he would have called you on that. Now you have zero, and nobody calling you on anything. You have 100% control, and you've taken full advantage of it. And I think it's disingenuous, it's disrespectful to every board that's come before you, and it's extremely disrespectful to the residents in Swatara Township that entrusted you to make fair and unbiased decisions. Thank you.
Do we have any other visitors' requests and comments at this time? All right. Hearing none, we are up to item 8, a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? I'll second. Do we have any discussion with regard to the agenda? All right, hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, the agenda is approved. We're up to item 9.
So moved.
We have a motion, we have a second. And for the gentleman that spoke in Carly's place, this is where we'll approve the MOUs so that we can move forward with having the save stations at Clown Park, Donald Taylor Park, and Venata Park.
Thank you.
Yep. Does anyone?
I just want to, for a point of discussion there, Carly she was active in tennis, and these are courts, and that's the whole, I don't know if the public knew that from what you said, so it's not necessarily every recreation location or playground. It's specifically tennis and pickleball. Am I correct, sir?
That's the majority of it, yes.
Okay.
So some of the small offset parks are not part of the Dauphin County AED project, but Carly was a college Division I tennis player. She coaches up at Penn State now, and that's why she couldn't be here. She had to stay at Penn State tonight. So, but yeah, that's her vision, is anywhere where there's people playing racket sports, basketball and stuff like that.
And she had reached out some time ago to identify and that's how I knew it was, because she specifically asked us to identify which of our parks had the tennis courts in them. So, yes. Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Does anyone have any further discussion?
Yes, can I educate me on the AED stations? I only say that because I was in the military. They said that we're not going to use it. We're going to let you drown first. So when using this, if someone is to break the seal to use this device, is there any type of alarm or something for notification?
Very loud alarm.
Okay.
If you want to test it, go over to Saltzman Park and open up the door, and you'll shut it very quickly because it's going to scare you. Okay. It's a very loud detractant. Also, the AEDs that we put in there, they are GPSed. So if someone stole it, I'm going to call the police officer in the township and say, hey, look, shows right here on my computer. It's at 746 Main Street. So liability there really is none.
Thank you.
No one can steal it. And certainly no one's selling it like they are Cadillac converters. So not to worry about.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam President, can I
Yep, go
add a
for it.
little bit? Yeah, so we had worked with Ms. Furlow on this deal. I just want to let you know too that staff will be wiring these units. They require 110 volts to the cabinets. We will also be mounting them, and as the gentleman had said, I know West Hanover has them. There were what, 4 or 5 AED units in surrounding municipalities that were installed. Our goal is to do some type of dedication at probably Venata early April, when the weather is a little more conducive to have a dedication for the new AEDs. And again, Ms. Furlow was a real go-getter on this deal. She had reached out to us, and the criteria was that it was a park that included the tennis court, as was stated earlier. We applied for the 3, and we were awarded. So we're really looking forward to working with the Peyton Walker Foundation and getting them in our parks, and we'll see where we are a year from now. Maybe it'll be even bigger. So we're excited about it.
I just add, if you're on Facebook, you can go to Dauphin County AED Project and find Carly's website there.
Awesome.
Facebook page.
Thank you.
If you know Brendan, he's already on this, and there's a spreadsheet somewhere to track the pads and everything else and maintain it, so.
Yes. And Commissioner, may I just add something? Bill and I had actually talked at the dedication at Sossaman Park, and we are also going to work with Manager Trafka on coordinating a CPR event here at the Township building, which will be open to the public. In conjunction with the AED program, we will also offer a CPR program. We'll host that here in the basement of the municipal building. So we are working on the details of that so we can work with the township on trying to put something together. But they go hand in hand. So I just wanted to make sure that I did highlight that we're on it.
Thank you for that.
Certainly.
Very important. So, do we have any further discussion with regard to the items on the consent agenda? All right, hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we're good. Thank you. We're up to item 10, Buildings and Codes Department. I'll go ahead and turn it over to our Director of Planning and Zoning, Zach Golding.
All right, thank you, Madam President. So the first item tonight is the consideration of an advertisement to repeal ordinance to modernize, consolidate, and eliminate redundancies within the code. As the codes director, I thought it was important to go through our code and see, what do we have, what are we using, what's redundant, what needs eliminated. So I worked with the fellow department heads, mostly in particular the chief, the superintendent Stauffer, and we went through the code, and I'll give you mostly my recommendations with the chief's blessing on one of them. So chapter 74, this is the Shade Tree Commission. The Shade Tree Commission, it's my understanding, never met or hasn't met for a long time. We're still gonna have a trees section, so we'll still be able to regulate trees within the right of way. So we're not going to lose that. It's just a redundancy. So chapter 125, municipal claims. This was adopted in 1997. No, I should say going back when the Shade Tree Commission was adopted in 1957. So I thought that was a kind of a cool little thing. Municipal claims, 1997. We're covered under this for our fees resolution. Basically what this gives the township permission to charge fees for liens and other legal items. Chapter 139, drugs and drug paraphernalia. This was back in 1980. I worked with the chief. The chief saw that this was redundant, and the state law actually supersedes this, so it's not needed anymore. Chapter 191, mobile homes and trailers. This goes back to 1954. We need to eliminate this because it's in direct conflict with our zoning ordinance. Our zoning ordinance regulates mobile homes and trailers. Chapter 220, registration, maintenance, and security of abandoned real property. This was passed in 2021. However, with deep conversations with our solicitor, the main reason this was passed, from our understanding, was to take control of issues such as property maintenance, such high grass, weeds, and things like that, which we can easily accomplish with our IPMC, our International Property Maintenance Code. So this is a redundancy. Chapter 223, registration of rental property, 1974. What this ordinance says is that all rental properties must register with the Secretary of the Township. We don't see a need for it. It doesn't give us any additional benefits or anything. They still have to register with the business privilege tax officer, so there's no need to have 2 registrations. Chapter 227, secondhand dealers. This was in 1964, a redundancy because this is regulated in our zoning ordinance. Chapter 257, swimming pools, 1974. This is a duplicative and redundant as it's covered in our zoning ordinance, and most importantly, it's covered in the Uniform Construction Code. So for example, all swimming pools over a certain height must put up a fence for security reasons. It's already covered under that. And finally, Chapter 279, storage of vehicles, 1974. This is in direct conflict of the International Property Maintenance Code, which already does not allow junk vehicles to be on a property. So these are the ones that we're currently recommending to eliminate. Other ordinances we're working on slowly cleaning them up. So if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
If I could procedurally note that the status of this tonight is a motion to authorize that the proposed ordinance change be advertised. So it'll come back to the board for final review of the language and any public comment and then decision.
Motion to advertise.
Second.
Now, do we have any discussion with regard to what was just presented by Director Golden? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we're up to 10B, consideration of financial security release.
Yes, this is a full release for 1065 High Spire Road, aka Eisenhower Business Center, aka Distribution Warehouse. They've met all the requirements for their financial security, and we're okay with them releasing it. HRG and as well as Dahlwood has signed off.
Thank you.
You know, in the future, can we look at this separately, Scott? I don't know, or Zach, you can answer that. Because one is a land development release, and then the other one is obviously a stormwater release. And I'm okay with releasing the stormwater one. I'm not okay with releasing the other one.
Yeah, we should probably take them one at a time in the future there. Yeah.
So can I do that now?
Yeah, you can make
Okay,
yeah.
I'm fine with that. I'll make a motion to do the stormwater release.
Second.
All right, do we have any further discussion with regard to the motion?
And I think that's financial security adjustment. That'll still be 5, Zach? Even with the stormwater? Yes, with the stormwater will be 5.
Yes.
All right. Hearing no further discussion, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. So that release is just for the stormwater.
The other one, in light of not talking too much, I'd like to motion to table if that would be okay with this board.
I just have a question for Zach. Are we up against any time constraint on the approval of this?
We have to, I believe for the NPC, we have 30 days, correct? Once they request it?
But that's if they did all the requirements. There's 3 requirements that they didn't do.
No, they did all the requirements for the financial security. Those things that he put in there, they were previously released. So we can't hold it up on that.
From what was discussed.
Even though they weren't done, they were previously released.
So this already happened essentially for. That makes sense.
Those items are also getting addressed somewhere.
We're only voting on the things that they have done. since the
Not a similar
Well,
situation to previous.
Yeah, but if you look at the 3 points, the landscape island along the front of the building for delicious trees within the parking lot were not installed. The location of ADA parking spaces are not consistent with the approved plans, and only 5 parking spaces were created instead of 6 called out on the plans. There are a few deciduous trees, whatever that means.
Type of tree.
Okay, called for in the approved plan that were not planted. The 3 trees associated with the landscape island are missing, and 3 planned for the north corner of the site is missing. I think that gives us the authority to do what we want to do.
For some reason, those items were previously released.
They were identified in a.
They were already released.
Yes.
For, even though they weren't done.
When was that?
A previous board, I don't know, previous release.
Please find that out for me.
Yeah.
Because we always say here, if it meets the requirements. So, I mean, it's already released.
It's already released.
I have a question. Zach, if they or any other developer fails to satisfy the obligations of a recorded plan, do you have mechanisms to enforce that other than the security?
So developers agreements were never signed in the past to my best of my knowledge. However, all developments now moving forward are signing developers agreements. So right. I believe the answer is no going back to old developments.
But
going forward, we're protected.
Could you cite them though for being out of compliance with their plan requirements?
Right. I'm sorry?
Could you cite them for being out of compliance with their plan requirements perhaps?
Perhaps.
All right. So in other words, even if, it's been released in the past, I think if they're out of compliance, residents and the township, I think, have standing to enforce the elements of the plan.
That's good to know.
So if they don't follow through with the tree planting, for example.
Okay. I'll work together with you.
So I'll remove my motion table. What you saying, Scott?
Yeah. Look, there's 2 ways to think about this. I'll do it on the fly, but you could recalibrate the money and say, well, you still have outstanding elements and we want to hold back enough to secure those. I think though, because the record may be that those particular items already were released. Usually it's only upon the recommendation of the engineer, so there's something to look at there. Someone should have reviewed that and signed off on it. Maybe some of the trees died after they signed off too, you never know. But in any event, probably the cleanest way to do it would be to approve the motion as presented, and then we could follow up with Zach in the event that the developer does not complete those items.
Sure.
I have a question. Is that a one-time thing? Like if they plant a new tree and that tree dies, they have to keep doing this? Is that in there?
If I remember our ordinance correctly, I believe there's a 1 or 2 year planting cycle. Okay. Is it 1? And this was started in 2022-ish, 23-ish. Yeah. So that period has long ended.
Okay. So
make a motion for the other portion.
I was just saying, you are making a motion or?
No, that's what I'm saying.
I'll make a motion for the township's part.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second? I'll second. Do we have any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Opposed.
All right.
3-2.
Yeah.
I do want to say that this is a spot of trouble for many municipalities, and we have to use great care with our engineers' review of whether items are completed or not.
Yeah.
I mean, I've personally handled situations where, complete roadways have been inadvertently or carelessly released by the township, and there's inadequate security left over. And Commissioner Steele has an excellent point. In cases of major improvements like that, the township could wind up with the obligation to do very expensive, public use elements of plan, including paving a road or repaving a road or putting in storm drains or whatever that the developer should have done. So,
or replanting trees.
Yeah.
Or sidewalks. No, I appreciate the work that you do, Director Golden, to be as thorough as possible to make sure that we don't end up in situations like that again.
Yes.
So.
And that's a recent change, and President Ellis is right. The development agreements, ironclad, there are no questions left, no stones unturned, and it holds them accountable. So, job well done.
Yep.
All right. We're up to item 10C, have correspondence that's going to be read by Commissioner Connolly.
Yeah, this was submitted by Township President that is also involved with code zoning and planning. And I had the opportunity to read it last night to the Planning Commission, but it's from Ho-Ho's Billiards. And just quick background, they're located on Eisenhower Boulevard in the plaza that has the Dollar General on one side, and Taekwondo Studio on the other side, and Gilligan's. They have a side entrance. It is a billiards place with a limited food menu. And they wrote, Zach, Hodge and I want to say thank you to you for all your help and your work on our land development plan. Thank you for facilitating the necessary items so that Chris could present our plan and explain the items that were required. Thank you for all you do for Swatara Township. We wanted to stay after the meeting. Personally, thank you. But we had to get back for an event, and our agenda for that evening was very long. Please also extend our thanks to the commissioners who thoughtfully listened and wished us well. The township definitely has some great assets, and I'm proud to live in Swatara Township and own a business here. And this is signed by Holly Robertson. So thank you, Zach. I know there was a lot of work there. And just to give you the final part of that, the business is moving from the location on Eisenhower a little farther down on Eisenhower, where we had a vacancy that was formerly Rod's Roadhouse. I don't know if that was the last thing that it was called, when it switched to just Rod's. But they're moving into that site next to Schmidt's Sausage, and they're actually renovating it and putting an addition on it. So, we're happy that they found a place in the township and can continue their business at a location that was vacant. So thanks again.
All right. We're up to item 11, reports. I will make a motion to table the treasurer's report. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. The reason we're tabling this is Treasurer Yarzinski is not here. She's attending to family matters at this time. So we can present this next month.
You should call for a vote.
Yep.
No discussion.
No, not yet.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I just, for the public, so that, not, because we announced it briefly in the stormwater meeting. All those in favor of tabling the treasurer's report, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we're up to item 11B, solicitor's report.
Unless there are any questions, I have no report, and apologies for jumping the gun,
Okay.
Madam President.
Thank you.
You have it.
Does anyone have any questions? All right, we'll move on to item 11C, fire services and EMS report. See, we do not have Chief Iverson.
I don't have Chief Iverson's report, but I do have Chief Albertson's report on my phone. So bear with me, it's just a little tiny. If you'd like me to proceed with that.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. From Chief Albertson, for the month of January, the Swatara station handled 499 total calls. 394 of those were 911 calls. 92 were non-emergency events. If you bear with me, I'll scroll down a little bit. Their average response time was 9 minutes and 30 seconds. Their average scene time was 18 minutes and 47 seconds. Transport times averaged out to 12 minutes and 25 seconds. And their turnaround time was 24 minutes and 11 seconds, with a total call time on average of 57 minutes and 24 seconds. And that is Chief Albertson's report.
Thank you.
I just want to comment. Last week, Chief Iverson had announced that he wouldn't be here this week. Yeah. So he gave the monthly report and the yearly report, I believe, last week.
True.
Thank you. All right, now we're up to the police department and community services report.
Thank you very much. The police department report for the month of January 2026, we had 1,363 calls in the township and 79 in Pakistan Borough for a total of 1,442 calls. The Part 1 crimes, Part 1 crimes totals for both the township and the borough were 22 assaults, 2 burglaries, 31 larcenies, 1 motor vehicle theft, and 1 arson for a total of 57 Part 1 crimes. And our Part 2 crimes were 1 forgery, 14 frauds, 1 embezzlement, 2 for stolen property, 5 vandalism complaints, 1 weapons offense, 1 sex offense, 18 drug violations, 1 family offense, 7 DUIs, 12 disorderly conducts, and 26 that fit in the category of all other offenses for a total of 89 Part 2 crimes. And on the second page, our monthly statistics, we had 53 criminal arrests, 3 traffic contacts for DUIs, 58 traffic contacts with citations issued, 176 traffic contacts with warnings issued, 9 non-traffic citations, 31 parking violations, 10 foot patrols, and 17 school foot patrols. Our crime and call trends in January, like I mentioned before, we had 57 Part 1 crimes and 89 Part 2 crimes, which were both down from the previous month in December of 25. Our calls for service were slightly up at 1,442. And you can see there where we were at this year, last year at this time in 25, and how those numbers compare. And then in community services, we had 2 events and presentations. 36.22 pounds of prescription drugs were collected in the drug drop box, and there were 10 MCSAP inspections. The highlighted event of the month from the community service report is ironically Carly Furlow's installation of an AED at Sauceman Park in Pakistan Borough that we talked about earlier tonight. That occurred on January 22nd. Lieutenant Kraling and Corporal Pokrop attended the ribbon cutting ceremony there at Sauceman Park for the AED installation, which we talked about. It was a fantastic event, and it's amazing that it's now taking place in the township too. That's going to be a really good thing. Our upcoming event is the Senior Resource Fair. Swatara Township will be hosting their 4th annual Senior Resource Fair on April 29th from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. at the LCBC Church in Swatara Township. The event will feature over 100 vendors who specialize in resources for senior citizens. The Senior Resource Fair is free to attend, and it is open to the general public. Senior citizens age 55 and over, as well as caretakers for senior citizens, are encouraged to attend. And then the complete breakdown for all of the calls from January are on the pages that follow, and the entire report will be posted online tomorrow. It will also be in the front lobby for anyone to review. And that is the conclusion of the report.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
Not a question, but on the community service events, Commissioner Rye was also at the Crossroads Christian Ministry. I didn't see it on the list of
Yep, it was busy. As usual. But thank you.
Appreciate everything you guys do. Great report.
Thank you.
I don't have a question, but I definitely like to make a comment. In the introduction of your packet, it says the Swatara Township Police Department now provides full-time law enforcement services to the Township of Swatara and the bureaus of Pakistan. The Township and the Bureau are comprised of 15 square miles and are home to approximately 29,472 residents. If we look up that census right now for Swatara Township, we're somewhere around 27 to 28. I'm not quite sure where they're getting our numbers.
You add the borough to that?
Yeah.
Just the residents in the borough?
Okay. Mm-hmm. So if we add a borough to it, then we're coming up to probably that number. Absolutely. I just want everyone to know that there's a lot of people.
It is.
That's what I'm getting at. That's a lot of people. And the I'm not quite sure how you match the safest way to say this. We normally say beans to bullets. or if you even have enough personnel, the equipment to service all of that. However you're doing it, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a lot of people.
It is.
That's all I have.
Thank you. All right, now we are up to the presentation of the Police Department Annual Report, which I believe is that where you were reading from.
Thank you. Yes, Commissioner Douglas gave us a great
Yes.
introduction.
I apologize.
Thank
Good
you.
segue. We're all flipping like, I don't see that anywhere. Got it now. Yeah, it's like, that's a good question. I'm not
No,
sure.
that was perfect. Thank you. Yes, so I'll be brief, but the annual report for the police department for last year is complete. It's before you for review. It will be online for anyone in the public who'd like to review it. Just go to our website, which is swatarapolice.org. And I won't read through every page because we'd be here for quite a while. But I do want to thank some folks in the police department that put a lot of work into this. It wasn't something that I put together myself. Sergeant Ballou, Detective Sergeant Levine, Corporal Pocrop, and Detective Moyer all played a big part in putting this together, so I want to thank them. Take your time to read through that. If you have any questions about it, please give me a call or stop in or send me an email. I want to touch on one thing that's in there. As you're looking at the crime stats from last year, you'll see that we had 1 homicide and 2 attempted homicides in the township. The first one occurred on January 27th in 2025. That was in the 2700 block of Paxton Street. A 61-year-old gentleman named Jorge Morales was murdered. We did make an arrest in that homicide case. 30-year-old Franklin Franco Colomb was charged and he is awaiting trial. Then on April 27th, we had an attempted homicide that involved a stabbing on Cardinal Drive in Chambers Hill. We did make an arrest in that case as well. It was a juvenile who's being charged as an adult, and he is also awaiting trial. And then the final incident of that nature occurred on May 6th. That was an attempted homicide involving a shooting in the 4400 block of Derry Street. 21-year-old Dakota Saunders was charged, and he is awaiting trial as well. So the 3 most heinous crimes that occurred in the township and the borough last year, we cleared all of them with arrest. And that is the conclusion of the presentation.
Thank you. Now, does anyone have any other questions with regard to the annual report?
I don't have any questions. I think I just have a comment. The numbers look good. I only briefly read through some of it, but the part that I want to speak to, because you put out good numbers, you're proactive, you have a community service program, that's the good, and then you do obviously have some bad calls that you got to deal with, which don't get discussed. But I think the thing that needs to be highlighted to the individual that I've always known you to be in your character is who puts the information about their IA in there. You do. That speaks to you and your leadership's credibility, transparency, and your character. Like, that's huge. You didn't have to put that in there, right?
Thank you.
But you did.
True.
And you spoke to which ones were founded and which one were unfounded, and that you did your due diligence. So I just want to give you kudos for that. That's a big deal. That's a huge deal. And hopefully people can see that in that report.
Thank you very much.
My apologies for being out of order.
Well, hey, I was about to say, I said, where's my fancy report?
That report, sir, I love it. I love your numbers. Is there a possibility, if there's room, to create a column where you were just briefing how our numbers, where we were in the start and in the end where we are now was clear? I don't know if I can find that in here somewhere, please.
Yep, if you go way to the back.
There's a lot of paperwork.
Page 25. Page 25 starts a few pages of charts which look very similar to the monthly reports. And it's way in the back there, but yeah, that'll give you a look back all the way to 2021. So you'll see information from 21, 22, 23, 24, and then for 25 as well. For a lot of different categories.
He didn't get the fancy book. He wants the fancy book.
You have.
I mean, it's
right there.
fancy book. So what's this?
I did the same thing. It's the same thing.
It's the same.
One's just printed for your packet
Yeah.
and one's a fancy book.
Kevin was getting the packets together and was making sure that we had it, and then,
You passed it out.
yeah.
Got
I
it.
did.
That's what it said. I thought everybody knew that.
Sorry, we used a little extra paper there, sorry.
Thank you.
Of course, of course.
All right. Now we are up to the Public Works and Recreation reports. I'll turn it over to Interim Manager Trafka.
Thank you, Madam President. Quickly read over the Public Works January report. Public Works staff continues to work with our winter maintenance. That includes road repairs, sign repairs, brush collection after the many wind events that we seem to have in the month of January. January activities, Public Works staff assisted the Parks Department at the Crest. The new play piece is installed, but we haven't done the final grading and stone and in the play area itself yet because unfortunately it's been covered in snow. Public Works staff performed snow removal operations on 1/1, 1/17, 1/18, and 1/25. Currently, Public Works is still out trying to clean up some of the narrow streets with the piles of snow that are unfortunately not melting anytime too quick, but hopefully Mother Nature has a better idea for the next few weeks. The Parks and Rec staff, as I said before, they were working with the installation at the Crest. They also worked with the installer at Ivy Ridge. Those swing sets are also installed. Again, waiting to get in there and do our final grading. They continue doing their normal monthly maintenance, which includes trash, cleaning bathrooms. They also spend a lot of time after snow events, getting as many of the pathways and parking lots at our parks clear. Staff has also been working around the various parks as time permits, removing some trees that needed some attention. And as I said, they have been working at the Crest and Ivy Ridge, and they also installed 2 retaining walls at the Crest. So that is the end of my report.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? All right, hearing none. We'll go ahead and move on. We are up to item 12, approval of the Swatara Township's Managers Agreement.
So moved.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. And for the public, we are going to be officially naming Interim Manager Trafka as Manager Trafka. Well, that's whose name is on the manager's agreement. So we have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion at this time? Nope. All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We're up to item.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
I just wanted to do that after.
Are you going to give a speech?
Yeah, would you like to?
I mean, if I could say real briefly, Kevin is involved in so many things.
30
here.
seconds.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job, and we appreciate you taking on this role. And that was less than 30 seconds.
There you go. All right. So we're up to item 13, approval of change orders for Bishop Park. There are 3.
Motion for change order 500, 501, 502.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. And then I will just read out the amounts for the public for each one. Actually, hold on one second. Can one of you read the amounts? I have an email that explains why.
We went over it today. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
We don't
we just had
have
a
to
call
look it
today
up.
on them.
Okay, go for it.
So change order 500 is for $67,175.45. That's necessary because of there's been a delay with the HOP permit along Highland Street. The contractor had to basically, when you're doing earth moving and building like BMPs and stormwater basins, they had to redesign or redo how they were going to originally do it. So unfortunately, because of the delay, it caused them to incur more cost with their planning and what they had originally bid. So that was change order 500. 501 is for some larger concrete structures. Let me make sure I'm reading the right one.
No, you're right. Flat concrete increase. And
Yeah,
then
so
the clear
some of the stormwater structures had to be bigger than what was originally contracted, and unfortunately, with the cost of anything being made, there were some additional costs incurred. That change order is for $8,985.81.
How much you say that one was, go? Oh, yep, 89.
501 was $8,985.81. And then number 502 for the storm revisions, again, they were waiting on a response for one of the RFIs for number one. They got the response, and it also needed a slightly greater amount of work to install. So that change order for 502 is $8,419.86. And those are the three change orders for Bishop.
Thank you. We had a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion or questions with regard to the change orders?
You want to add anything from the day we found out, or you want to wait? Because if the good news don't come true,
I always hate to let something out and then it turns around and bites you.
Maybe if we could, because I was actually shocked. I think I was with Commissioner Conley when I drove past there, and the size of the stormwater basins, I did not think they were going to be that huge. Like, them things are monstrous. So maybe that's another thing that maybe we can get a phase update and where we're at, and then start the discussion on the items for phase 2 also. That probably wouldn't be a bad idea publicly then.
Yeah, again, the park is progressing nicely, and again, we up until January, really, we were doing fairly well with the weather and them being able to work in there. Unfortunately, this snow has slowed it down a little bit, but with the weather forecast, we're fingers crossed that it's going to just keep plugging along, and we'll see. I think there's some exciting news coming. We just gotta get there. So.
All right, thank you. I'm getting all out of order now. Hold on. Okay.
Motion. Oh.
You're good. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I was about to move on, not call vote. So thank you for saying that, because
I certainly wasn't going to jump in again.
Yeah. All right, we're up to item 14, consideration of resolution. This is to have signs over Dairy Street for township events.
Motion.
We have a motion. We have a second. For the public, it will be for the Senior Fair, the Family Fun Fest, National Night Out, and Labor Day fireworks. I guess I should say the dates too. Senior Fair, which was said earlier, will be April 29th, 2026. Family Fun Fest, July 18th, 2026. National Night Out, August 4th. I'm not going to say 2026 because we know what year it is. Labor Day fireworks celebration will be September 5th. So we have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion?
I just want to thank Lieutenant Kraling for his work on this, and Commissioner Steele for his work on the rec side.
All right. Anybody else? All right. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. That is going to be resolution R-2026-7. We're up to 15, consideration of resolution, Dauphin County Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Somebody can give a brief explanation for the public. Somebody, anybody?
I'm looking at Brandon.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
It's basically just us adopting the county's plan for hazard mitigation, and preparedness. And this actually comes out of the Craig's department, EMA.
EMA.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is something that's done regularly, not anything
When
new.
this comes up again, we'll have Craig here to talk about it.
Yep. All right. Do we have any further discussion? We had a motion and a second, right? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that's going to be resolution R-2026-8. We're up to visitors' requests and comments. Item 16, if you have comments, please come forward, state your name and address, as well as write them down, and then you may begin.
Deborah Knowles, 6080 Hocker Drive. Tom, at the last meeting on February 4th, in your commissioner's comments at the end of the meeting, you went on a rant about my comment that, mark my words, if the out-of-control spending continues, then the township is going to have to raise taxes in a year or two. Since you came back to office in 2024, you borrowed $5 million in 2024, another $5 million in 2025, and another $5 million in January 2026 to cover overall expenses. Not to mention that we still owe on past loans. I know you call them notes instead of loans, but it is still borrowed money that the township did not have, that you had to go to a financial activity to borrow. Then you also have been moving money from one account to another to cover deficits in different accounts. When you were president, you borrowed $2 million from the reserve account to cover stormwater bills. When Christine tried to put the money back after she became president of the commission, Shane told her that she could not move the money back because it was illegal and that the government has specific rules on what money in those individual accounts is allowed to be used for, and stormwater money was not allowed to be moved to the reserve account and used, and vice versa. Since you've been back in office in 2024, how many new vehicles have been bought for the township, not including the 2 replacements for the wrecked police vehicles? Last year, how many free public township events did we have at a cost to the taxpayers? I know the Family Fun Night cost the township over $56,000, according to the information the township provided us. When Christine held public township events, it cost very little to the taxpayers because the companies involved fronted most of the costs, since it was getting them public face time, and it educated the public as to who they were and what they did. You're building new parks, hiring more new people, including 2 outside company professionals as alternates, and I'm not talking about employees who are replacing ones who left. And you're now talking about buying 3 new fire apparatus. There are many other purchases and expenses that I have not mentioned. Is all this in the unapproved budget? In January 14th meeting and February 4th meeting, you claimed that Mike and Christine voted to pass the budget. But the votes they made were not to approve the budget, but to advertise the budget in November and then again in December, but not to approve it. If you don't believe me, look at the meeting recordings on these votes. Tell me what meeting the budget approval vote was done so I can look it up to confirm it.
Thank you. Do we have any other visitors' requests and comments at this time?
My name's already written. Christine Zubak, 6840 Diaguda Drive. I would just like to know, first I want to congratulate Manager Trafka. Congratulations. And I want to commend the police department on their annual report and all of the good things you've done this year and last, and all of the years really. We have an amazing police department in Swatara Township, and I respect you gratefully. I also just wanted to mention that I'd like to know what's going on with the 2024 annual audit that was due in in June. Did we file an extension with DCD for the audit?
Fortunately, that would be a question for Treasurer Yarzinski, who's not here this evening.
Yeah, I brought it up at the last meeting, and I'm going to keep bringing it up because I think it's important that we have a finalized audit in Swatara Township for 2024. And I'm not sure what the holdup is, because in past years, we've always had audits on time in June that were presented to the board for review. And we've always gotten awards for good financial management. So I'm not really sure what's going on. Hopefully someone can respond. And then again, I'd like to reiterate my request that this board look at expanding the nepotism policy to include appointments to boards and commissions, because there's a lot of people in the public out there in Swatara Township that would love to be able to volunteer on some boards, that would love to be able to provide services. We have a lot of talent in our township, and we should be appointing people to boards that are qualified. And I will tell you that no one up here can say that when we had control of the board, we didn't do that. Because, you know, the only person I remember removing didn't have qualifications, and we replaced that individual with an engineer who had qualifications and the ability to make informed decisions on the zoning hearing board. And most of the people in the planning commission, when I got on as president, were left alone because I thought they were doing a good job. So I removed somebody just because they have a D or an R behind their name. Doesn't make any sense to me. Or better yet, put somebody in there just because they have a family connection that already works for the township. Or somebody who already works for the township so you can keep an eye on what decisions they're making. It's not okay. So I feel like I had to get up here a second time because I think it's that important that this board do the right thing and reverse the damage that you've caused by these appointments and the cronyism and spoils system that's going on in our township. Thank you.
Thank you. We have other visitors requesting comments?
Chris Freeze, wow. Chris Freeze, 3800 Brisbane Street. Mr. Conley, when you brought up about that letter about the, up here by McDonald's, it reminded me of something. I drive up through there 3 or 4 days a week, about 4 or 5 in the morning, and the snow on those sidewalks hasn't been removed, and there are people walking. And this morning I saw yesterday morning I saw a bicycle. This morning I saw somebody walking, and then they got the road narrows because the state does the berm so that there's more room for people to walk. But where it narrows up there where the sidewalks are, there's no place to walk.
Did we get those dedicated?
No,
I don't think we did we?
They were just turned over to the township for the maintenance.
Okay.
The part of the agreement is that the township can turn it over to the property owners to maintain. We're in that between stage, right, where it was just handed to us basically. I want to say it was a couple of weeks ago.
In the between stage, you know, the Monday after the snow, there was somebody walking up through there, and I didn't see him walking through the McDonald's area, but he was down almost to Cindy Rose, and the glass place, whatever it is now. But they was walking on the berm, and there was plenty of room to walk on the berm because that's been plowed, but the sidewalks haven't been touched.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just want to. I stopped up there with the contractor after the first little snow, and I believe there's 8 holes or maybe 12 if they kept going. They weren't done with the project. We talked about that. They have openings around the back of the sidewalk, so we talked about it here when the project is complete and signed off on. And you probably saw it if you're at the McDonald's where they opened up for. It's going to be lighting that goes in there. So it's right off of the sidewalk. So I think it would have been a bigger problem had the businesses or us, anybody going on there. But I will say this.
Well,
place, that whole project was because people have been killed up there.
Right, and what I was going to say to
Walking around up
you
through
is,
there.
prior to this, there were absolutely no sidewalks, the crosswalks.
Well, there's not
are-
there any now.
Well, they have snow on them because it's in the middle of a construction project. But we,
Not that much ice.
yeah, we had already
Very good.
talked about that. But
Keep on.
Thank you.
It's cool.
I said, no, it's not. It's going to move it for you.
My two questions are for my wife. The first was, are you just now going to be the township manager? You're going to have a normal job now?
Yes.
Okay. And then the second, this one's not being streamed?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we're on Facebook.
She said she couldn't find it anywhere. That was what I got from her. Thanks.
You watched it live?
Thank you. Well, you better hope it's not being streamed with that hand motion. So.
Oh, I just want to say congratulations, Kevin.
Thank you.
It's well deserved.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything, Chief, that you and your officers do on a daily basis. I was just curious. I know Christine Zubek requested a few meetings ago about having a representative from PFM to come in and review the finances, and if they have suggestions to give the board to direct us maybe in a different direction or a better direction. By chance, is that being looked at?
I've had meetings with representatives from PFM. I had one last month. We're going to meet monthly and keep on it. We were supposed to meet tomorrow, but it got pushed another week. So,
Okay.
but yeah, that's an ongoing thing. You know, because obviously all of us want finances to be in a good position. So,
And are you willing to share that information at some point when you
Sure,
are able
yep.
to go through further?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Have a good evening.
You too. Thank you. All right. Do we have any? Yep. Go ahead.
It seems like we have a lot of people coming back a second time tonight. Is this okay, Brendan? Thank you. I just wanted to clarify some comments made by Commissioner Connolly and reiterate that what I'm asking in my letter that I gave each of you is for the commissioners to make a public discussion, a public decision, and give us a decision in writing, specifically if something's going to be cut off so we know. I think that's businesslike, and I think it's what is proper. As far as the comments about the fire company saying, voting unanimously, I might add, no, to the township taking over 40% of our building in return for paying bills, we had a year of discussions with township people that included Commissioner Connolly and the fire chief and two civilians. And some of those were very productive. I think some of them were very respectful. But then when it came time for drawing up a so-called lease agreement, you just had the attorney draw it up without any talking to us. And I went over to Attorney Scott and said, why don't you talk to me about it? And he said, I work for the commissioners, not for the fire company or for you. We pay your bills. I'm one of the taxpayers, my fire company's the taxpayers, and all these good folks are the taxpayers. We didn't really have any input into it. But the sticking point for us, as we've repeatedly said, is that when we were told by you that only the Swatara Fire Rescue firefighters would be allowed in the upstairs of our building. And when you said you can build an office for them downstairs like you did for the tax collector. We took in the tax collector because Swatara Township threw him out of this very building. And we did it to be nice and to be helpful, and we made a room for the tax collector. We have no other rooms to make. But under what you wanted us to do, only a couple of us would be allowed upstairs in the firehouse. My treasurer wouldn't, my financial secretary wouldn't, my building store wouldn't, some of my board members wouldn't. And the members said no. That's a no. The chief doesn't approve of some of our members, two of which got members of the year of the last couple of years for all their hard work and dedication. And that was a very, very major sticking point as to why we said no. We've tried to be cooperative, we try to work with the township, and we try to serve the citizens in every which way we can. We're citizens here, we love Swatara Township, we love Chambers Hill, and we're here. And I just will say this, whether you support us or not, we continue to support Swatara Township, protect it, and take care of our citizens. I just hope you can understand, and that's why we put it in writing and asked you for something in writing so we're not caught unawares like we are now. And talking about things informally and then giving someone something in writing is two different things. It makes it real clear when you put something in writing. Maybe I should have made that request in writing before, but I did it tonight, so now the ball's in your court. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other visitors' requests and comments at this time? All right. I have 17 that's on our agenda every meeting. If you have any stormwater violations, let us know and we can investigate. We're up to commissioners' requests and comments, additional business and correspondence. Commissioner Douglas.
Good evening, everyone. Just follow up on a couple of things. The light replacement, Brandon, you were right. That light is bright. So great job on that. Yeah, I came in, I didn't even question because I do look at our staff as a subject matter experts. Brandon was already on it. So thank you on that. I'm hearing a lot of requests for, only thing I can wrap it up as the committee that I'm over, which is the human resources. I'm hearing a lot of wants and demands for policies and standard operating procedures. You're correct. We have to have those. If you haven't seen it, I can't tell you if it exists, but I will say we are working on it. Personally, we're typing away. They will be in fruition very, very soon. If you have a complaint, I highly recommend everyone use the complaint system. Okay? Thank you for coming up and sharing your comments and concerns. Use the complaint system. If you don't know where the complaint system is or where to find it, okay? That probably also is a complaint on top of a complaint, okay? But that doesn't mean don't file because you feel as though it's futile. It's not futile. I can't say what has been done in the past, okay? I'm here, I moved here in 2019. So a lot of stuff in Swatara Township is new to me. 26 years of HR. HR by the government and HR by the private sector. There's not a if, ands, or buts. You will have policies, procedures. You will have standard operating procedures. And they will be signed, every single one, wet signed. It's coming. But don't wait. If you have a legitimate complaint or you just have a complaint, utilize the complaint system. If you can't find it, complain about the fact that you can't find it. It will be filed. You will have a follow-up. That's all I have. Thank you, everyone in the committee. Y'all doing an outstanding job. Thank you, Zach. Oh, I got one more question. Now that Kevin Traffica is doing a township management position, who's going to sit in your seat at night to answer all these questions? You're obligated to be here, so what we're looking at. You'll still be here? All right, I don't know if you're getting your overtime, but okay. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Ray?
I just want to say thank you, everyone. I really appreciate I got a letter, Ma'am Mary. I'm really happy to help my community. And yes, congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Connolly?
Yeah, I want to offer my condolences to Brittany. She's going through a tough time right now. Also congratulate Kevin on the appointment tonight. And then I want to address the boards and commissions. We had an election in November. We had people who were going off of boards on December 31st. At that point, we had, as far as I knew, 2 people whose term was expiring on the Planning Commission and 1 person whose term was expiring on the Zoning Hearing Board. I've been here through many cycles. I personally was asked by 2 people if they could fill a spot, if they could volunteer. They didn't have to do it. They said they were interested. 2 people. Individually, I checked with the commissioners that were up here to see if they had anybody mention the 2 people that I had. Seemed like they were okay with it, but didn't hear anything from anybody else. So people sitting in the room tonight, nobody in the room could say that they said they were interested in going on a board or commission to any of the commissioners that I asked. And in fact, there were 2 commissioners who were not successful in the election, and they didn't mention any names of anybody. So you didn't say that you were interested in going on the zoning. I'm going to keep talking. No, you came up here and said a bunch of crap. I'm going to correct the record. So here's the comedy. Here's the comedy show. The 2 jokers in the back said we took people off boards. We didn't take anybody off any board. And they know that. There was expirations and there were new people put on. And the 2 people that were put on, ironically, we don't consider whether they have an R or a D after their name. That only comes up from certain people. We take good people, good volunteers. So now we're critical of the few people in the community who said they'd be interested in serving the community on a board. Very, very thankless job. So they offered no names. They didn't say they were interested themselves. And then they came here and were critical of the people that volunteered. So no one was removed. It had nothing to do with politics. Interestingly enough, the person on the zoning hearing board did not ask any one of us to continue on the zoning hearing board. Someone else said they would be interested if there was an opening. Neither of those 2 commissioners that spoke tonight had given a single name. They didn't say, I have a friend, I have a good citizen, I have a person that would be perfect for that position. They did nothing. Then when we did something, because we have to act, we have to run the township. We have great employees, they do great things, but ultimately we were elected to serve the township. So to constantly question every decision, and now what I really like are the attacks on me. But the attacks on the citizens who went on the boards and wanting to see resumes and all this stuff. And then we've seen it with spouses and things like that. Just keep attacking me because I'm strong. And it shows a weakness when somebody constantly attacks somebody, especially when they have a manufactured grievance. I'm upset that these people got on this board in public meetings. I didn't appoint myself to anything. It was the vote of the board. The 5 of us up here didn't appoint ourselves to sit in the seat. The citizens of this township did. And we will lead them and we will make good decisions. We may not always agree up here, but to sink so low, to come and worry about the citizens, just the average citizens that got appointed to positions is pretty sad. And it's baseless. They're good people. I'm not going to mention their names. No one asked them what party they were in. But that's very telling that people are worried about what party somebody is in when we try to have good government here. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I know through the snow, our police, fire, highway guys, management, they did an incredible job. I appreciate it. But at the same time, I wouldn't be disappointed if it was the last incredible job you did during a snow emergency this year. So thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you. Vice President Steele.
Thank you, everyone that came out and joined us for a good evening, and those of you that joined us online. I, too, also want to give my condolences to Brittany and her family. They're going through some troubled times right now with the loss of her grandmother. So that can be very difficult for family. And like I think I said the last meeting, you know, understand what you're doing with your time and your purpose and what it is that's really important to you and family, friends, neighbors. We're all on borrowed time. And I think this is the 4th or 5th death that I've heard about in a matter of 3 weeks. So it's reality, and it's tough. But just, we all have things that we do in our lives, our personal lives, our private lives, but just be reminded that, you know, people matter. Whether they're your friend or not, people matter. I'd like to make sure that I don't forget and give an understanding to the contributions that blacks have made to humanity, because this is Black History Month. And it's very important that you understand the contributions that not only that blacks made to America, but what they've made to the world and humanity as a whole, as itself. So just keep that in remembrance this month also. At some point, there has to be some civility. And I'm not going to touch on any topic that was discussed tonight. But what I want you to do for me as a sitting commissioner, and I think we're at a point where we need solutions. Give me some suggestions to the problems that you think exist within our community. I think everyone tries to do their best, whether you be elected or not elected, to try to make Swatara Township better. And incrementally, I think every board in the 250 years did something. I might not be able to tangibly tell you what each thing was in 250 years, but did something to get us to the point where we're at now. Did some good things, and made some bad decisions and learned from them, right? But let's be a community that when you come to the podium, or when you make a phone call, or when you make it, or when you send an email, let's be a community now about solutions, real solutions. And I get, you know, tensions can rise, and we're different parties, and we come from different backgrounds and different upbringings, but the only way that we are going to bring a community closer together and solve its problems is not continually talking about the problems and that's it, but talk about the solutions to the problems as well. That's important. But again, I've always been a firm believer, and I've always been one, whether I enjoyed the comment or not, the comment is made at the podium and you are exercising your right. And I've always, every single meeting, consistently thank you for coming to a meeting and being involved in your government. Now more, excuse me, now more than ever, because, and what I'm seeing that didn't just take place over the last 4 years or 8 years or 10 years. And I'm talking government as a whole, not just Swatara Township or the state of Pennsylvania. I'm even talking our nation. We have had more rights eroded away from us than you can imagine. And we are at a dark place in our history of America. And if we don't stick together and get away from the divisiveness that the news wants to put out there, social media, there will be no more government standing. That's how critical things are right now. I could care less about your party affiliation, your ethnicity, your race, your religion. None of that matters in the moment that we're in right now. If you can't turn on the news and see what is transpiring across this country and in every state and every local community, something's wrong with you. And you can't say it's okay, because it's not okay. We are regressing as a country. We are regressing as human beings. We are regressing as people. We live in a country where we spend billions of dollars on wars, but we have homeless people on the street that can't get 3 square meals a day. There's a problem there. As a society, there's a problem. And it's either we wake up to the real problems, or we continue just to talk about small, minute problems that really aren't going to affect change. But I just want to leave you with that for tonight, and just think about that. Let's come up with some solutions to the problems that we think exist or that we know exist. And I don't know about a suggestion box, complaint box. I mean, some way to get a suggestion to the township manager and say, look, here's a problem we have. What can we do about it? So I appreciate you again for logging on and coming out and sitting with us tonight. And I think we're going to have a record time, so I'm going to get off the mic.
Thank you. I'll try to be brief too. I just want to again offer condolences to Treasurer Yarzinski and her family. Say congratulations to Manager Trefka.
Can I interrupt? I did forget that. That was on my list. Congratulations, Kevin.
Double congratulations. I'll say happy Valentine's to everyone. And I do want to highlight that it is Black History Month. Swatara Township is home to the historic Midland Cemetery. I'm going to read a little bit of information from their website. It was founded circa 1795, and it's the final resting place for slaves, former slaves, men of the United States colored troops, Buffalo soldiers, and leaders of the African American community. It's also the final resting place for Rap Dixon. If there's anyone that's a baseball fan, he is someone that is very notable within baseball. Miss Barbara Barksdale worked tirelessly for over 30 years to reclaim this cemetery that was overgrown with trees, brush. It had been, I don't want to say forgotten, but it had missed the boat on care. It was not forgotten because the people who had family members buried there, they still went and they still attempted to leave flowers and things like that. In fact, my mom would tell me stories about when she was a kid, and they would climb through trees and brush and go on Memorial Day to leave flowers for our family members that are buried there. So very thankful to Miss Barksdale for the work that she's done over my entire lifetime. She hosts multiple events there per year, including, which I don't believe they were able to have it this year, Wreaths Across America because of weather, but that's something that takes place there. And there's also a Memorial Day ceremony that takes place there. She worked diligently for many years to get the cemetery placed on the National Registry of Historic Places, and a few years ago she was successful. So we have a piece of history in our backyards. Take some time to learn about it. You can reach out to Miss Barksdale. She's an incredible historian and she loves to talk about the cemetery. So we've actually had her in here in past years to give a presentation. So I just want to highlight that piece of Black history that we have right here within our borders in Swatara Township. I want to thank everyone that took the time to come out here this evening and everyone that takes the time to watch these meetings online. I hope that everyone that is here gets home safely. And I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Meeting is adjourned at 8:49 p.m.